Two people save the exact same $1,000 a month, take the exact same risk, work the exact same hours. One hits their first 20 grand in 19 months. The other builds it faster every single time after that without changing a thing. Same effort, different gravity. So what actually flips at that number? Welcome to Rocket Finance, where we skip the vibes and look at the math nobody bothers to show you. Today, we're answering one specific question. Why does $20,000 feel like a completely different universe than 19,000? And is that feeling real or just in your head? Spoiler, it's both, and both matter. If you want the mechanics instead of the motivation, stick around and hit subscribe. That's the whole ask. Here's the thing the financial industry never mentions. The entire system is built to keep you from ever reaching that first threshold. Not through some conspiracy, through product design. The average American spends $600 to $800 a month on a car, and the auto industry has trained you to think in monthly payments because a payment feels affordable while the total number would make you flinch. Over 40 years, that's $400,000 just to move from point A to point B. That's not a moral failure on your part. That's marketing working exactly as designed, on a rational person navigating a system engineered to capture your margin before you ever get to keep it. So let's look at what actually happens at the numbers. Vanguard found that just $2,000 in emergency savings raises your financial well-being by 21%. 2 grand, less than a decent laptop. Push that buffer to 3 to 6 months of expenses, around $20,000 for most people, and you get another 13% bump. But the money math is where it gets genuinely wild. Save $1,000 a month at 8%, and your first $20,000 takes 19 months. Your second, 17. Not because you worked harder, because that first 20 grand is now generating its own returns alongside you. Picture Marcus, 31, a warehouse supervisor outside Columbus, packing his own lunch every day to hit that first milestone. It takes him a brutal year and a half, but by his third 20 grand, the timeline keeps shrinking because his money is doing more of the lifting. And once a portfolio crosses 400,000, it can throw off another 20,000 in roughly 5 months. The amount that once took 2 grinding years now shows up almost on its own. Same index funds a beginner uses, same brokerage. The only variable is scale. A 10% return on $2,000 is $200. That same 10% on $20,000 is $2,000. Money that showed up because your other money went to work. Now here's where smart people torch the whole thing. They hit 20 grand, feel that shift, and immediately decide they've earned a reward. New car, big vacation, down payment on a house that's a stretch. The mechanism here is identity purchase. Buying an object to feel like the person who made it, instead of protecting the thing that got them there. Think about Priya, 28, a nurse in Phoenix who finally cracked 20,000 and put nearly all of it toward a shiny SUV to feel successful. The moment she drove it off the lot, it lost 20% of its value. She didn't just spend the money, she actively destroyed the foundation. And the cruel irony is that the person in the flashy new car is usually the one lying awake stressed about money, while the person in the paid-off Honda is quietly compounding and sleeping fine. The reason this trap is so effective is that 20,000 doesn't just change your balance, it changes your brain. Below that line, you're running in what researchers call survival mode, where your mental bandwidth gets eaten alive by immediate threats. It's the bandwidth tax. Financial scarcity literally reduces the cognitive capacity you have left for anything beyond next Friday's paycheck. You take the bad job, you stay in the toxic one. You say yes to things you hate because you can't afford to say no. It's like trying to plan a vacation while your kitchen's on fire. Cross that threshold and the fire's out. Suddenly you have what I'd call walking away money. You can ask for the raise because the worst answer is no and you'll survive either way. And the strange part is you rarely have to use it. Just having it changes how you show up and people notice. So think back to those two people saving the identical $1,000 a month. The difference between them was never discipline or intelligence. It was momentum. And momentum has a starting line most people never reach because everything about the system is designed to bleed off their margin before they get there. That's the plain takeaway. The first 20,000 is the hardest money you will ever accumulate, and it's hard by design, not by accident. You're not bad with money. You've been playing a game where the rules quietly reverse the second you cross a line nobody told you existed, where gravity stops fighting you and starts pulling for you. Everything before that line feels like shoving a boulder uphill. Everything after feels like the boulder finally cresting and rolling. Your job isn't to be a saint about coffee or bananas. It's to get the boulder over the hill one time, then refuse to hand it back to the people who profit from you starting over. If this reframed how you see that number, do the thing that helps this reach the next person stuck pushing uphill. Like it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, here at Rocket Finance.